Good morning. I've been up since like 2 o'clock and I haven't been able to sleep. Yesterday was a really rough day at work, and I'm not going to go into it, but my heart just breaks for people, and I was thinking about that and just other things, and there's just a lot of hurt that happens every single day, and if I didn't have Jesus in my life as my ultimate comfort, I don't know how I would make it through some of the things that people have to go through. And like, not saying that having Jesus makes it easier, because sometimes like life is hard and life sucks no matter what it is, but it's just like, it's the hope like after the fact. Life might suck right now, but Jesus will never leave you, and he's always there for you, and so take comfort in that. And I'm praying for everyone else who is struggling or having a really difficult time. Just been up praying for people, and so anyway, I was just gonna do this video all natural because I feel like blah, and I figured since my videos are raw and this whole adventure is about me being raw and vulnerable, that none of you really care if I wear makeup or not. So today I wanted to talk about Proverbs 24, and just mainly verses 3 and 4, and then we'll be talking about Proverbs 24 verse 27 as well. These are three verses, I guess, that God has really spoken to me a lot about, and I'll just read it and then we'll talk about it. So Proverbs 24:3 says, "By wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Through knowledge its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures." And then Proverbs 24:7 is, "Put your outdoor work in order and get your fields ready. After that, build your house." Excuse me, sir. He is climbing on the curtain. How rude. So I wish I remembered some of the like background into some of these journal entries. I was just looking in my journal just to see what that was all about, because I wrote the verse down. I'll just talk about it. So in Proverbs 24 verse 3, "By wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established." And at the time it was like a time of pruning, like God taking things out of my life, and just really trying to get across like, what is my house? What are some things that what is the purpose of my house? I think that everyone needs to figure out, like, and your house being your life, sorry, I should have addressed that. Like, what's the purpose? What is your goal? What are you setting out to do? My mom used to have, sorry, Bruce is freaking out. My mom used to have this sign, and I think she still might, above, when we lived in Rogers, above her kitchen, and it said, "Enter as strangers, leave as friends." And that kind of always like stuck out to me, because it's like, my mom and dad are both incredible people, and some of the people that would walk through our doors, like, just like any other person, a mess, and not perfect, and just watching how God worked, because my parents were very focused and intentional with their interactions with people, and just who they were as human beings and as believers in Jesus. And this verse has really hit me. Like, what is the purpose of my house, and who do you allow in your house? Like, what kind of things does your house stand for? And the next verse is, through knowledge and its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. And I like, that verse to me means like spending time with God, like gaining knowledge from his word, and its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. Those are like the things of God, the things that he teaches you, the struggles that you go through, the victories that you gain. Those are all experiences that God can use to help other people. And my cat is ridiculous. And then I don't know, it seems like it's such like a silly verse, one that you would like read over and you're like, oh yeah, house, but it's so true. Like, I've been thinking about my life lately, and what are some things that God is saying, Alicia, you need to let this go because it's not healthy for your house. Just like any house, you need to clean it. You need to get rid of junk that just clutters things up, that doesn't need to be there. You have to make upgrades. Sometimes you can't just have like, I mean, you can, I guess, if it's preserved, but for the sake of what I'm trying to say, we'll just say you need upgrades when things break, and duct tape to hold things together can only work for so long. And you know, when I have people in my life, like, those people are in my life for a specific reason. And you know, I am definitely learning to be more intentional with my interactions with people. And because I feel like sometimes we just get nervous, or we're like, oh yeah, it's just kind of like surface level friendships and relationships. And I definitely want to be more intentional with the interactions that I make. And when I was in Master's Commission, I can't remember who was saying it, but they were talking about, you know, like going to the same person in the checkout line. If there's like a Target or a Walmart that you go to and you notice that person is continuously checking you out in the line, not like checking you out like, hey girl, but, you know, checking out your groceries, building relationships with those people. I started doing that with a girl in St. Cloud that worked at one of the Targets up there, and she ended up coming to church once, and then I was done with Master's Commission. I did 3 years, and so I don't know. I haven't heard from her, but just things like that, being intentional with who you interact with, and like my house and like the purpose of my house. When I got this apartment that I'm currently living in, when I took the initial tour, I just felt like peace. I was like, this is it. It was only like the second apartment I looked at. I was like, this is the place. And like after that, like before we even moved in, like I came and I prayed over the whole apartment that whoever came in would just like be blessed, and that you know, they would, no matter what their situation looked like outside those doors, that they would come in and just feel at peace, because I know, like, you know, sometimes people just need like a safe haven, not that they're in danger out there, but just like, you know, from their thought process or just everyday life and struggle and worry, that they would just come here and feel peace. So just kind of thinking about like, what is the purpose of your house? And it doesn't have to be like physical house. Like I said, just your life. And then verse 27, put your outdoor work in order and get your fields ready, and after that build your house. It's really, really hard to build a house on rocks and uneven ground and ground that's like weeded. So I think building your foundation obviously is important, but just like around your house, you need to work the ground, you need to work the land. Hi, Bruce. In order, to build that house, and weeding some things out that don't need to be there, that are kind of ugly and won't make your house look very nice. And that could be a wide variety of things. And I'm not here to tell you like these are the things that you need to get out of your life, because that's between you and God. I know what some of them are for me, and that's like what God and I are working on, and you need to figure out what that is for your life. So that's just kind of what I've been thinking a lot about. It's just kind of re-examining like who I am, like what my purpose is in life, because ultimately my purpose is to love God and to love other people, and whatever I'm doing in life, as long as I'm doing that, I think I think that's ultimately what God's will is. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have. It's just a good reminder to, sometimes it's time just to clean house. And as mundane and boring and annoying that might be, or therapeutic to some people, it needs to happen, and you need to take inventory of your relationships, your relationship with God, and just your intentions and what those are with people. And I try to, like, when I go to work or whatever, I want every interaction to be a positive interaction. I want people to walk away from a conversation and just go, like they can breathe deeper. I don't want to be a life sucker. I want to be a life giver. And I am not perfect. I am the farthest from perfect. I'm an extremely flawed human being. But this is all a process to be better than what you were yesterday and better than I was 2 seconds ago. So that's it. If you guys want to leave comments and let me know what you guys think, interact with me a little bit on what your thoughts are. Again, the verses I read from today were Proverbs 24, verse 3 and 4, and 27. Yes. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. We're almost at the weekend. Whoop, whoop. And if you guys are wondering, I am still going to be posting on Saturday and Sunday. So, no excuses. We're doing this every day. Every day, folks. So, anyway, have a blessed day.